Hi, Scott. I'm so excited because we are sitting down together at last to film a series of videos, a little bit of a teaser on some of the great questions that people ask when it comes to business development. So, I am Karen Finch from Legally Yours. This is Scott from Legal Balance. Scott, how are you?
I'm really good, Karen.
All right. We've only got under 10 minutes to cover these topics. So, let's do the first one on cross selling. What is cross selling?
So, the way I like to look at cross selling, Karen, is when we compare it with, say, upselling. So I don't know if you've ever seen those images of, like a burger from a fast food outlet. And upselling would be, you've bought a burger, would you like the large version? Cross-selling, on the other hand, is kind of like you bought a burger, do you want chips and a drink with it? Yeah. So cross-selling it is sort of very, very simplest, is a really, really important sales tactic, because what it does is it drives revenue by capitalizing on what the client is already using of your services to show them other services that they might find useful. So, perfect example, you've bought a new house. Have you sorted out your power of attorney? Have you sorted out your will? You've just made a company acquisition. You get the 100 days report. Is that being acted upon? Because in that 100 days report is going to be all sorts of services that other lawyers in your firm could be working on. So that's basically how cross-selling works. The important thing, though, is to remember that what we're talking about is what I call, or what is known as, consultative selling. So this isn't boiler room. It's not Wolf of Wall Street. You're not trying to sell things that people don't need. What we are talking about is getting to know your client, and getting to know your clients so that you can give them what they need, even sometimes when they don't realize that they need it.
And what I love about that is that, I think because lawyers, and particularly here in Australia, you're obviously more familiar over in the UK, as people might be able to tell from your accent. But here in Australia, we're so segmented in our specialisms. I am a family lawyer. I am an estate planning lawyer. I'm a commercial lawyer. And we often forget that, there's so, like you've just mentioned there, because I've come in with a family law problem and I've gone through a separation, at some point at the end of that, I will need to update my estate planning. So there's an opportunity then. And whether you've got an estate planning facility or practice area within your firm, or it's with someone that you business development with and who's in your professional network that you can cross-sell over to, it's really important, because the signal that you're sending to that client is that you're actually a trusted advisor for so much more. Yes?
Perfect. Right. And that absolutely goes to the heart of why it's so important. We're living in an age, Karen, where there is greater competition for clients than ever before. Clients have got more choice. So the days when the work just came to you, that's over with. And keeping hold of your client is harder than ever. So, as you've just said, clients have got to start seeing us as trusted advisors, because at the moment we're seen too much as commodities that are easily changeable. And in order to retain clients, you've got to be much more of an advisor. And that means, as I say, getting to know them, but actually acting upon that as well. So you've got to be that kind of advisor that trusts you enough to come to you and say to you, Karen, I've got this problem, or Karen, I really want to do this. Now, you may not always be the person that can help. Yeah. But if they feel and they know that they can come to you because you've got a contact base that you can call upon, or you've got colleagues that can do the work for them, as long as they feel like they can trust you and they know that the advice that you're going to give them is always going to be in their best interest, why would they ever leave you?
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is that firms tend to spend so much time looking at ways of winning new clients, but statistics actually show that the success rate of winning a new client is somewhere between 5 and 20%, depending on your strategy. Whereas selling to an existing client, the success rate is between 60 and 70%.
Absolutely. I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? Yep.
It's mad when you think about that. We spend so much time saying, right, we've got to have a strategy for winning new clients. Actually, you're sitting on a client base that needs your help and you're not focused on that. But your chances of actually winning that work are what, 5, 6 times, 10 times, somewhere between that of winning.
Absolutely. So we've sort of touched a little bit on this, but in terms of how you do it, how you cross-sell successfully. So I guess we're talking here, first of all, and before you even think about cross-selling, you've got to change your mindset of why you're doing it and how you're doing it from, I'm not being a salesperson, but I'm actually being a consultant and I'm providing something that they need. So I'm being that trusted advisor. Then from there, like, do you recommend that lawyers have a little script or something that's in there that can kind of, I guess, when a client says X, it kind of prompts them to be able to naturally in a conversation go, have you thought about, or tell me a little bit about this? What do you recommend in that regard?
Right. So I'm not a big believer in scripts as such.
Yep.
What I always say to my clients is, think about the things that come up time and time again.
Yeah.
Think about the stories that come up. Think about the responses that you get and how you then respond to those questions or statements. Make a note of those. Those are the things that are going to come up time and time again.
Yes.
So as you learn and as you respond and you think to yourself, wow, that was actually a really good response, make a note of it.
Yeah.
Keep that somewhere. Replay that over in your mind.
Yeah.
Scripts, I find that unless you are some kind of brilliant actor, it's going to feel a bit more forced. So it's not going to come out right.
Very good point. Yes.
Think about the things that keep coming up. Make notes of those, work on them, build on them, and have those in your armory. But in terms of how you do it, it's really, really, really simple. Okay? It's really just 2 stages. Take an interest in your clients. Phone them out of the blue for no reason, just to ask them how they're getting on.
Yeah.
Okay, I do that. I've done it throughout my entire career when I was practicing law.
Yeah.
Phone them up, ask them how they're doing. Let them talk, because the more you let them talk, the more information they'll give you.
Yes.
Ask the questions, find out a bit more about them, take an interest in them. That's part 1. Part 2 is then, as I said earlier on, think about your colleagues, think about your intermediaries, think about your contact base. If your client says something to you, I'm having a bit of a tax issue, or we're looking to buy a house, but we haven't found anything that's any good. If you know tax advisors, you know estate agents, you know banks, you know corporate finance people, if you know these individuals, match them to the client need.
Yeah.
So it's really, really simple. And that's how it should be. Don't think of yourself as selling. You're helping, you're serving. Once we start thinking like that, clients do want to talk to us. They want to know our expertise. They want to use our knowledge.
Yes.
So why not? Why not call them?
Scott, I love it. So there you have it. Learning how to cross-sell in 2 easy steps, which is just incredible. And like you say, starts with the mindset. And look, the biggest advice I can give as well, just start doing it. It might not feel natural the first time you do it. It might not feel natural the second, but the more and more you practice business development and the more and more that you sort of just step out of your comfort zone and do it, the better you will get at it. And then, it will become more authentically you and you can start to kind of build those relationships, but just start. Would that be your advice too, Scott?
Absolutely, without a doubt. It's not going to feel, like you say, Karen, it's not going to feel natural at first. But actually, if you think about it just as a conversation, you're just phoning up to chat, changes the whole perspective.
I love it. So you can find Scott at legalbalance.co.uk. You can find Legally Yours at legallyyours.com.au. And you can find both of us together with our co-host Finn Bowd on the Fight Club for Lawyers 2 on Clubhouse, and also in the 21st Century Clubhouse room that you'll see Scott there. Scott, we're going to come back and do a couple more episodes, but I love talking business development with you.
Thanks, Karen.
Bye.